be a tone setter for the Hokies.
Thanks for that, Tamara. Thrilled to have you on your Sunday as we are underway. Here's Brandalise on the right side. Peyton Woods right on cue for the match's opening point.
Good back and forth right there. Excellent dig from Ivy Cooper in right now at libero. Virginia Tech is dressing 2 liberos right now, her and Erica Fava.
23 digs on Friday for Cooper, the freshman. We've seen more playing time as of late. A free ball from Suarez. Excellent effort from Velez to keep the point alive. The libero, Tech in the middle.
Boy, I thought Velez had no chance there.
Isabella Mishler, the sophomore.
Look at this get from Velez, coming right at us. Oh, what a move.
Fun first 2 points. That a miss hit from Aylward, the junior.
I don't like that. It's not a great set. It's not a great not a great dig. You know you're out of system if you're Elizabeth Aylward. All right, you're trying to get the ball in play. Keep the ball in play. You're not going to score there. Georgia Tech's all over it. So hit a shot, take the setter's back row, give it to the setter, make them play out of system, do something.
Second effort on that left side. That time it's there for Aisha Carrick, the sophomore from Naples. There's the head coach of the Yellow Jackets, one of the best players in the history of the sport, Michelle Collier, second winningest coach at Georgia Tech.
Michelle Collier was a tremendous player at University of South Florida. Before starting her coaching career, she's done a very, very good job at Georgia Tech. Did 1 year at Jacksonville as a head coach, and then took over the Yellow Jackets, and they've been a real leader in the ACC in that top group for pretty much the entire time she's been there. They haven't quite broken through the way that Louisville and Pitt have, but they've been right there.
Abby Lee, the freshman. Brandalise only played there the middle. Big dig in the back row. Mambu, the freshman, was wide, and the Hokies extend their early lead to 4-2. And there's the head coach of the Hokies, Marcy Byers, who's 3 wins away from career win number 300.
Remy Despagno coming back in the match here for Lee.
They'll say a tip at the net, point to Georgia Tech.
I think that's over the block and out of bounds. Got a late touch call from the line judge. We are immediately going to go into our first challenge of the match.
Wayne Clark, our first referee, and there is our second referee, Chanel Davis.
Virginia Tech is challenging the touch call.
Live, it looked out. I mean, it could have caught a piece of Carrick right there. As everybody knows, the hard part is you're going to have, if you want to overturn it, you're going to have, proof.
That's a great look here.
And it can be very hard to prove a negative, prove that you didn't touch it. Sometimes it's very obvious. This one, I think is going to be difficult to overturn.
Here's Chanel Davis.
After review, the call will be reversed. Ball is out. Virginia Tech retains their challenge.
So a successful challenge for the Hokies. The bench loves it. This Virginia Tech team picking up its second ACC win on Friday against Clemson. Nice start. And a friendly roll off the tape. An ace for Elizabeth Aylward. 6-2 Hokies. Suarez on the right side. Pierce puts it down. 12 kills on Friday. The grad student, a national champion a few years back at Texas.
Big swing on the slide. Good pass. Opens up the offense for you. Gives you opportunities against a block that has to worry about defending 30 feet of net.
Gillespie, the set. Excellent pancake. No, it was down as Velez, great court coverage, just a half second late.
Aisha Carrick is such an interesting player. Left-handed, in-serve receive right there on the right side, something you don't often see. She handles the ball well. She's been used as a defensive specialist and right back before, but also attacking, D balls out of the back row. I think she does a lot of really interesting things, and it's cool to see her get more of an opportunity to be a feature player here.
There's Deandra Pierce again as she rotates out. Sophia Velez transferred in from Trinity Valley Community College. Second year with the program. On the serve. Right side, powerful swing from the freshman, Brianna Holiday.
They have not run. Virginia Tech's not run a ton of slide with their middles this year. They run a 6-2, so they've always have, a right side attacker. But in serve receive, they don't here. You see Hazelton, 24, coming up the middle for a 2-ball. That gives Holiday the opportunity to slide out to the right behind the setter. It's a good run.
That was just out. Yellow Jackets cut the deficit to 3. Ivy Cooper.
So Virginia Tech's doing something I think is pretty interesting here with their lineup. And they've run the traditional 6-2. Sarah Malinowski's not available. She would normally be starting on the right side for them. Aisha Carrick has come into the lineup. Aisha Carrick, even though she's left-handed, she is actually playing as a left side hitter tonight. And in the rotation, she'll swing on the right some, she'll swing on the left big. Good pursuit there from Georgia Tech.
Hokies a chance to capitalize on the free ball. And
carry here. Yeah, I think they got her.
That's Wayne Clark.
It's tough. It's a point of emphasis the last couple of years has been trying to get these power tips out of it. I can tell you for a fact, I think that's fine. There's typically you're looking for 2 joints to move there for it to be a carry, a shoulder and an elbow or something like that. It's all from her shoulder. She caught it right in front of her face. I just don't think that's a carry.
Hazelton. Suarez the set. Fiodorovic. Hokies with the point. Anya Fiodorovic with the swing. Jake, what's impressed you about this early start for the Hokies?
I think they're serving and passing really well right now, and that helps a lot. I do want to finish on that comment about the lineup. So Carrick would normally, as a left-handed player, be playing right side. I've never seen her play left side in her time at Virginia Tech. So this is a little bit of a wrinkle here from Virginia Tech. You have Woods playing left side with Carrick, and Carrick playing 6 rotations, which I think is smart because she's a good back row player. And then it's Elizabeth Aylward and Reese Hazelton, 2 people who are traditionally left side hitters, are splitting duty on the right.
You mentioned Sarah Malinowski, who's been a key piece for this Virginia Tech team over the years. If she doesn't go today, how does it change things for Virginia Tech?
I think we see it right here. You need someone to fill in on the right side. And Malinowski, I think, is one of the more physical players for Virginia Tech. She's dealing with a shoulder injury right now. We're talking with Marcy Byers this week and the day before the match, wondering if she'd be able to go. She's dressed. She's available. It's mostly, they're just kind of getting a handle on how to deal with her injury. But I think we'll see her again this season. if not today.
For more on the Hokies and the 6-2 offense, let's throw it down to Tamara.
That was definitely a point of emphasis with Coach Marcy this week. She said one of the biggest things with injuries and not having Sarah Malinowski is that their 6-2 offense is so much different without her. That means not having Peyton serve and receive a ton of balls because she's better on defense. So you see a change in the lineup today. They had one again Friday night against Clemson. That's something to keep an eye on.
Thanks, Tamara. Fun opening set in the Battle of the Techs. Right side swing, just long. Yellow Jackets looking for a touch. They won't get it.
We're going to have a challenge. The hard part with this is, the SEC is using the Bolt 6 system now, which is essentially the same. It's from Hawkeye. It's the same system they're using in the Olympics and, Champions League matches, all that kind of stuff.
Georgia Tech is challenging touch call.
The difference is they're using high-speed cameras at that level, and they have Hawkeye for the in and out, and then you have the high-speed cameras along the net, so it's a little bit easier to see these touches, and it's it moves faster, goes faster. Look, I said they probably weren't going to overturn it the first time, and I was wrong. I've been wrong consistently. I don't think there's a touch there.
What are you most looking for if you're Chanel Davis looking at that, Jake? Take us through.
So it's not about did the ball change direction? Did the spin on the ball? It's the same way as like saying that, I heard a touch, so I'm going to call a touch. You have to see it. You've got to see ball touch fingers, ball touch hand, ball touch some body part. It's a positive call. You only call it if you see it. And so it's for me, I still, we're many years into this process, and I still have not seen a lot of consistency from match to match, even point to point, what the standard is. So the international system has gotten so good that you watch an Olympic match or a really high-level pro match, and on these touch calls, if someone touched it and it's like a micro touch, they just tell them. They just tell the ref, like, I touched it, let's move on, let's not waste everybody's time because you're going to see it on camera.
Here's Chanel Davis.
After review, the call will be reversed. There was a touch on 22. Georgia Tech will retain their challenge.
On Aylward.
A pair of successful challenges.
How is it on 22? Elizabeth Aylward is not. Oh yeah, she was over there on the left side. Okay. All right. We're look. I imagine it's on Elizabeth Aylward's right hand in the seam. I don't know.
Pair of successful challenges.
I will tell you, as a player, you don't always feel every time that you're in the net, but you do feel every time you touched it or didn't. So she knows one way or the other. Aylward might be the only person in the building who knows if she touched that ball.
Left side swing. Fedorovich with the dig. And a big Hokie rejection. Izzy Mishler, the sophomore there, alongside Aylward.
2 big blocks already for Izzy Mishler. I think she has started to grow as an offensive player this year, getting to be the full-time starter. But her defense, her blocking has been really strong this season.
And the right side swing is there. Noemi DeSpagno, the freshman.
2 positive block touches from Virginia Tech. One is blocked, blocked and covered on Georgia Tech's side. That second one, they slowed it down. That's a hard swing. On the right side, they slowed it down. You hope that someone can get to it. Ultimately, that's the block's job. You want to block for point, but you want to be able to affect the attack enough that someone can play defense behind you.
Southpaw stuffed. Right side swing. Hokies unable to put that down on the block. It's through. Mimi Mambu, the freshman from Chantilly High School in Chantilly, Virginia, about 3 to 4 hours, depending on the traffic, away from Castle Coliseum. Is that fair?
I'd say 3, maybe 3 1/4.
Back in her home state. Tied at 11. Opening set. Glad to have you on your Sunday afternoon. Roll shot from Mambu, read well by Woods. Too far on the left side. No, there is a touch. Apologies. Virginia Tech back in front, 12-11.
Georgia Tech doesn't seem to be arguing it very much, so I wonder if that touch was in the front row or in the back row.
Suarez, Pierce, on the line, another Hokies rejection.
This one's going to get challenged. I think that one was out, but it was called in. This should be a pretty straightforward look here.
Georgia Tech is challenging that the ball was in.
Sometimes what happens here on that long sideline as a line judge, is a cover ball, so there's a whole bunch of players bunched around the point of attack, and it's very easy to get screened here as an official. Oh, that's a lot closer than I thought it was. Oh, here's our overhead. Ooh. So the hard part is the ball compresses when it hits the ground, right? That ball's not compressing very much because it's not moving very fast. On a full swing or a ball that's blocked straight down, it compresses a bunch, and the referees are taught to look to take that into account. So it's not the instantaneous point of the ball, like the first part of the ball that touches the floor. It's all of the volleyball that eventually touches the floor. So compression is the thing, just kind of in tennis, same way Hawkeye works. To me, that is out. I think and it's a very quick call here I think we're going to get a answer real fast here.
After review, the call is confirmed. Ball is in. Georgia Tech loses their challenge.
I think it matters. It depends on how much you're accounting for compression of the ball. And so that is an area where you're starting to bring in more judgment into something that you would hopefully is just black and white.
Back to action. Mambu, not that time. Another swing. Was there a touch? There was. Mimi Mambu, who hit just .071 on Friday, limited to 8 kills, off to a nice start on Sunday afternoon.
Well, they're giving Mambu some problems early on here. Blocked her a couple times low. She's hit a couple long. That one, I think she just caught a piece of the block.
Bialeski, who had 6 service aces last week against Cal. Back row swing, Woods right into the nets.
That one never really had a chance. I don't think that set's quite high enough for Woods to take a full swing. You have to recognize that as an attacker. That's one where you have to drop. If you're going to drop your elbow to keep it on the court, hit it slow or tip, something like that. It's not the best set to take a full swing, especially against double block.
Carrick stuffed Pierce.
Fyodorovich just ate that up. Woo! It's like hitting inside of a telephone booth.
Yellow Jackets with their first lead of the opening set. Carrick to the corner. Suarez, Fyodorovich, good dig.
Oh, well handled right there.
Pierce muscles that through.
That's such a tough play from Velez right there. That ball is, 35, 40 feet.
Freshman.
Ton of freshmen. And, freshmen from overseas, trying to, it's hard enough to integrate 18-year-old freshmen into your program, into college, into being a college athlete, but to do it when they're also having to get used to living and going to school in America is, an extra challenge. But Michelle and her staff have an enormous amount of experience with international recruiting. Have pulled some fantastic players to Atlanta the last several years, and Julia Bergman, Mariana Brambila, just some awesome players. So they're one of the better staffs in the country with that.
Tamara, it's been really impressive.
Yeah, I caught up with Coach Collier before this match, and I said, 9 freshmen on this roster. Have you ever had to play with this many young players? And she was like, no, I actually don't remember the last time I had this big of a freshman class. I think the last time I did, the program wasn't where it was today. Now we've been to 5 straight NCAA tournaments, so the pressure is a lot different for these young players.
Thanks for that, Tamara. You mentioned it, Jay. Coach Collier, she has coached some of the best. She likes the freshmen, and she likes what her team is doing right now on a run as the Yellow Jackets lead by 4.
Yeah, I think some struggles here for Virginia Tech offensively, only hitting 120 right now. And I think more surprisingly is neither team has established themselves offensively here. Only 182 from Georgia Tech, and in 30 total points, there's only been 16 kills. So, a lot of hitting errors here, some blocks, some service errors. So there's kind of a mix here, but nobody has really got it going on the offensive side.
Well, for Virginia Tech, Izzy Mishler has been playing well coming in and picking up where she left off here in set 1.
Yeah, Mishler in her first season as a full-time starter. She's really impacting the match. Defensively right now, some big blocks, some important blocks. She's got good range. She plays hard, Evan, and that's something that I'm not sure everybody appreciates. The job of a middle, yeah, you're only on the court half the time, but it's go, go, go the entire time you're out there, and you have to make decisions, and you have to make quick reactions, and you just have to work. And if you don't like to work all the time, middle is probably not the position for you.
Tamara, when we talked to Coach Byers, she was raving about her work ethic.
She absolutely was raving about Izzy Mishler's work ethic. She said, I want to give her all the credit for where she is today. She put in a lot of work over the offseason. She came in and knew what her weaknesses was, and she worked on her footwork. She worked on her lateral speed. She came into us and said, hey, I want to get better at that. So this is all thanks to her and what she has done this season.
Out of the timeout, Hokies look to respond. Georgia Tech stays hot, open in the back corner of the court.
That's tough there. So Erica Gillespie bailed on that early. She's playing right back as a setter. She started penetrating to the net early, left Peyton Woods kind of out on an island in middle back and having to play that whole seam by herself. I think that ball's out, but when you're all alone, your initial reaction is just go for it.
Hazelton a little long on that swing, and all of a sudden the Yellow Jackets a commanding 6-point lead.
It's hitting errors, Evan. It's hitting errors.
This was one of Georgia Tech's best servers in recent memory. And Bialeski, the announcers jinx into the net. But that's 6 aces in an ACC match. I don't care who you're playing. That's awfully impressive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Aisha Carrick on the serve. Big swing, Anya Fyodorovich. Powerful on the outside.
So great pass, but tight pass. And Suarez is front row. So what you have is Peyton Woods has to go with the slide, and then Holiday in the middle, because Suarez's front row has to jump with that front row setter to defend against that dump. And it just leaves Fyodorovich wide open one-on-one on the left side. There's not a lot you can do there defensively. You got to hope she, hits it at a defender. Serve tougher usually is what I would say, but it's really good offense from the Yellow Jackets.
Good coverage on the 10-foot line. Feeder again, Fyodorovich. Another kill.
That's a pretty set from Suarez. She's a little unconventional, Evan, which I like. Traditionally, you would tell your setter you have to square up. You got to get your hips and your shoulders pointed to the left-sided hitter always. Whether you're going to set, and you have ace right here for Georgia Tech. Get square, get square, get square. That's what you're always telling young setters, always telling college setters, saying you have to be facing where you're going to go to the left side to set anywhere for deception. Suarez, no, not doing it that way. She's sometimes facing the back row, sometimes facing the wrong way, but I like it. She's got the location and the ability to get the ball there.
Yellow Jackets defense. Set point for Georgia Tech. Sophia Velez, the senior, has been serving well. Just long. And if you're just joining us, Virginia Tech jumped out to an early lead, but the Yellow Jackets have been surging down the stretch of this opening set. A bump set, right side into the net goes D'Espagno.
That's a nasty float serve from Ivy Cooper. That thing dropped like a rock right at the end. Fyodorovich did a good job just keeping that thing off the floor.
Fyodorovich for the set. Yes, just wide, and the Yellow Jackets with a Camilla Brandalise, two-time JUCO national champion at Florida Southwestern, first year at Virginia Tech. Second set underway. A positive start for the Hokies.
It tells you, Evan, is there's a lot of volleyball out there. There's a lot of good teams and a lot of good players. Brandalise coming out of junior college. Erica Fava has been several places before making it to Blacksburg. You can find good players anywhere. You can look at Georgia Tech. You can find good players all over the world.
Suarez in the middle. Bianca Garibaldi, little quiet in that opening set. Loud start to set two.
There used to be, back in the day, before the ubiquity of the internet and streaming video for free, things like YouTube, you'd have to go. You'd have to go, hop in the, catch a flight, hop in the car, and drive around Eastern Europe for a couple weeks looking for players, convincing them to come to wherever you were, and then you'd be in the conference and you might have a team. I remember being, in the league with American under the great Barry Goldberg, who, just every August, he just shows up with a kid from Albania who's awesome. Where did you find her?
Aylward, that's out.
Yes, that's off the block, off the antenna, and out.
Yeah, you've got multiple players on Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech on roster from outside the United States. Really just goes to show how global this sport is.
It's much bigger, much bigger in a lot of countries than it is in the United States, and it's big in the United States.
Big block in the middle. Izzy Mishler has been one of the highlights for Virginia Tech.
Mishler, that's her third block for point early in this match. Just getting there. Just drifting into the seam. Whoops. That was a bad toss.
Suarez on the outside. Brandalise read the 10-foot line. That's into the net.
Here's the
Ainsley Ranstead.
Peyton Woods was a little frustrated with herself after that serve. It was a bad toss, which is why she kind of just chunked it into the court. You can see her be a little bit frustrated with it. I was like, for me, it's the opposite for me. Like, you have to be able to hit a bad toss and not make a serving error. So it's like, hey, look, it's not how we wanted it to go, but you didn't miss it. We're still alive. We're still playing.
Big dig.
That's
from
really tight.
Brandalise. Jake, what have you seen from Georgia Tech serving? Because it seems like Virginia Tech serve receive been struggling a little bit here down the stretch.
There's a lot of velocity. I think they keep it pretty simple. We're not seeing a ton of jump top. It's a lot of hybrid jump float. Putting it on people, being very accurate, making the person you want to pass the ball. Don't let the libero touch it.
That is out. Hokies tie it at 4. Potential near double there.
It's not anymore.
It's a good
no
point.
Doubles anymore.
That's
Evan.
a good point.
Not anymore. We don't call it as long as someone on your team is the next person to touch the ball. And we're not going to whistle a double contact. So basically, if you're going to play it across the net and you double it, it still gets called. But that has drastically cut down on whistles for ball handling errors.
Sometimes you forget old habits.
Well, it's the way the game's been going. They've been calling it that way at the international level for a long time, decades at this point. So men's college volleyball has gone that way. Women in the U.S. were the last place that was still really holding on to the old way calling ball handling. That's wonderful. Look at that.
Aylward falling down, able to go cross court.
She never would have tried that last year. I'm sorry, she never would have tried that. You know, setting off her backside. You know, I've seen middles on teams. I watch a lot of volleyball. I watch a lot of college volleyball. You know, matches I've called. Watch this. Aylward off. You know, falling down. That's a pretty good set. Randstad should have taken a swing at it. Like, never would have tried that in the past. I think it's great.
Coming off the career day on Friday. What a great weekend for Aylward.
Even if I didn't think it was great, they didn't ask me anyway. So
10-foot line open. Great read from Mimi Mambu.
So Mimi Mambu here, that's her, you know, she was hitting 0 until that point. That gets her to positive. I think she's struggled a little bit offensively. So don't let her start feeling comfortable by getting cheap kills on tips. You want to make sure that she has to take full swings, because some of her full swings have been really good. Some of them have been 15 feet out of bounds so far. So, you know, for Virginia Tech, you want her tipping so you can just eat it up and run offense of your own. It's kind of like in a match playing, playing a match playing golf. You know, you don't let your opponent. You give them the 2-footer, the 3-footer. You know, don't let them see the putt go in the hole, right?
What a great analogy. That's why you're the best. Back row swing from Woods. Way long from Anya Fyodorovich. Those gimmies in golf, those are great. Those are big for the confidence here for yours truly.
So don't give them easy ones. It's like the opposite, actually. So golf, don't give them easy ones. Do give them easy ones.
Tied at 6, set 2. Roll shot. Oh, what a pancake. Suarez going out wide. Big dig in the back row. Hokies win the marathon point, and that certainly belonged to Ivy Cooper.
Cooper's been good. I was just going to say Cooper's been good. You know, she's been in the libero jersey before. You know, you can play 2 liberos in a set. They just can't be on the floor at the same time. You know, Fava's drafted well here, but Cooper is really having a nice day.
And there she is again in the orange libero jersey. Woods, was there a touch?
Huge
there
touch.
was.
Yeah,
Hokies by 2.
So that question actually becomes now, if Cooper's going to play really well, Erica Fava's good too. Right now they can't both be on the floor, so you're getting 6 rotations of one of them. You can't have 6 rotations. You can't have more than that because they're both playing libero. So the question going into set 3, no matter what happens here, if Cooper's going to play well, that ball's out.
It is out, and Marcy Byers immediately looking to challenge.
Peyton Woods was convinced that she got that. So we're going to challenge. So the thing with you got to want to consider if you're Marcy Byers going into set 3, you put Fava back in a regular jersey so you can use her as a defensive specialist. Right now, Carrick's playing 6 rotations. Woods is playing 6 rotations. There's not necessarily a spot to get her in there in the rotation yet.
Virginia Tech is challenging the out call.
But give yourself the option, right? Like, you can get 9 rotations with the 2 of them if one of them's playing defensive specialist. That ball's in. That ball's way in.
Every challenge has been, the first 2 were successful. The last one was not. This is the 4th challenge of the day. Jake Lawrence, you say?
In. Not even close.
Here's
After
Chanel
review,
Davis.
the ball is in. Call will be reversed. Virginia Tech retains the challenge.
Jake Lawrence, always correct. In set 2, you are. It's a treat to have you with us Sunday afternoon. Evan Hughes, Jake Lawrence, Tamara Brown, and the rest of our outstanding ACC Network crew.
Big dig from Ainsley Randstad there.
Middle swing.
Out of system here is Fyodorovich.
Down the line.
Yeah, it's off the block.
Anya Fyodorovich, most kills in ACC play entering the weekend on this Georgia Tech team. Yet another freshman for Michelle Collier.
It's good defense for really all three swings there from Georgia Tech. It's good defense by the Hokies.
Hazelton, what a dig in an effort to keep that point alive. In the middle, that time a kill. No problem for Brianna Holiday. Let's bring Tamara in.
You just brought up Anya Fyodorovic, Evan, and that was one of the freshmen that Coach Collier brought up that's been the most consistent, not just in terms of her performance, but how she approaches training, prep for a game, and how she takes care of her body. She does all the right things, and you're seeing that here today in this match.
There she is.
I think I have
another swing. Fyodorovic finds the opening.
So I think a lot of that, or very commonly with international players, they, from a volleyball perspective and a professionalism perspective, they come to college more ready at 18 years old or 19 years old than the typical American player, because in a lot of countries, Fyodorovic is from Poland, so they're around professionals a lot more because a lot of their clubs are playing for good swing there, but Peyton Woods. It's similar to European soccer, where they're playing for club teams that have a youth team that is part of an organization with a senior team. So they're around pros more, and if they're good enough, they're playing in the reserves against adults or practicing with adults versus kids their own age. And with the NCAA having seriously relaxed their amateurism rules the last several years, it doesn't matter if they've been on a court with a pro. They can still play. And so I think the average good, talented international player comes a little more ready than the typical domestic player.
Brandalise in the middle. That's there. Excellent swing. It's Izzy Mishler yet again. Mishler, both offensively and defensively, has been a story today.
Well, I think that getting the middles for Virginia Tech going offensively is very important. They score pretty well. Mishler's just everywhere.
Back corner, you bet.
That's well done by Garibaldi there to just jump and swing on that high ball. That ball got blocked straight up in the air. Mishler sitting on it though, or dug straight up in the air. That's tough play for a middle. There aren't a whole lot of middles who feel comfortable hitting a ball that high.
Brandalise for Mishler, the paintbrush. Well played. Mambu cross court. Cooper there. Ranstead cross court, you bet. Point Hokies.
Love Ranstead recognizing that Pierce jumps with the setter there, jumps with the back row setter, which is something you shouldn't do. So she actually turns it, Ranstead takes it hard cross, zone 4 to zone 4, and basically hits it right where Pierce should be, knowing she's going to be a step or two slow because she bid on the back row setter.
Experience. Deandra Pierce, 12 kills on Friday. When you establish the fastball, changeup's good to mix in every now and again, right, partner?
Oh, look at you bringing the analogies.
You talk golf, I'll bring baseball.
Look at you bringing the analogies. I will say that when I used to use them a lot when I was coaching. That's the net. Yep. Mimi Mambu in the net there. I think with young players, they don't necessarily, especially not, when I first started coaching, 20 years ago, there was a lot less volleyball on television, so young players didn't have a whole lot of access to be able to watch it, whereas now it's on all the time. So it's easier to use analogies from other sports.
Interesting.
Let's talk basketball, let's talk softball, let's talk golf, whatever it is, because they were more likely to have seen it rather than had not seen really high-level volleyball.
What an up from Velez. Still a point for the Hokies as they lead 15-11. Aylward is fired up. In large part to its defense.
The defense has come up big for the Hokies here. Big block. I think that so far in set 2, the big statistic is Georgia Tech's down to hitting 160 in set 2. They have 5 hitting errors in addition to all these digs from the Hokies. They're putting the clamps on right now, Evan.
If you're just joining us, Virginia Tech had a lead in set 1. Then Georgia Tech finished the opening set on a 14-3 run. Can the Hokies close it out? Still work to do in set 2. Out of the timeout, Yellow Jackets go to their freshman Mimi Mambu. For more, let's send it back over to Tamara Brown.
I was just listening to Coach Byers during their media timeout, and she said offside blockers continue to be aggressive. Watch out for the tips. If you keep doing that, we're going to be in a good spot, guys.
Yeah, so what she means there is, if the ball gets set, Georgia Tech sets to the left side of their court. The left side attacker for Virginia Tech doesn't have blocking responsibilities. Their job is to come up underneath the block and look for tips and roll shots and things. They've gotten beat a couple times so far, but you want that left side to be a hard charger. One of the things that Virginia Tech has working for them, because they're running a 6-2 and they're leaving right now Ranstead and Carrick in the back row. I guess it's Woods and Ranstead in the back row. They've got plenty of attackers to set in case that left side kind of has to sacrifice herself to go make a dig. Now, that can't happen.
Pierce wide open, no blockers there.
Yeah, Peyton Woods probably my guessing is got caught looking inside there at what Suarez was doing. And Miss Pierce just running right past her.
Yellow Jackets threatening within 3. Right side swing, stuffed, it's out. Point Virginia Tech.
We were talking about it, when we were off air during the commercial break, Evan, that Suarez has not called her own number yet. She has 0 attempts. Holiday take that right off the block. So if you're a left side blocker, Peyton Woods here, pay attention to the slide hitter. Pay attention to helping in the middle. Suarez is not taking it. That's her first attempt right there, and it's on a clear contact.
Point at the net in favor of the Jackets.
That's pretty tricky, actually. that was a nice little move.
Jake, it feels like Virginia Tech is starting to find success with the middles.
Absolutely. We tell young setters all the time, set your middles. They'll make you look good. They hit for a high percentage, and they cause a lot of chaos.
Huge dig from Cooper off a big swing. There's the middle, cross court, not there, it's wide.
So this isn't that ball in? What? 4 contacts? Oh, net. Okay, sorry. First official held up at 4. It was because Izzy Mishler's in the net here. But Mishler, you really see her starting to impact the match with her defense.
Another huge swing, Anya Fyodorovich. Georgia Tech within 1. Up to 6 kills. Georgia Tech a point away from tying the second set. Woods, Velez.
Tight set.
Play at the net. Bump set. The freshman ties it. Noemi DeSpagno. A timeout from Marcy Byers and Virginia Tech.
Yeah, big swing from DeSpagno off the top of the block there. Ransted's playing about 3 steps, 4 steps in from the end line there. She's looking for that hard cross swing from DeSpagno. The block closed really well. Block did a good job there, did its job. I'd like to see Ranstead a little bit deeper, almost on the end line, playing center field or free safety to go run that ball down.
There you see.
It doesn't shock me. I think the number that's really surprising to me is that Georgia Tech with 10 more kills. They're earning a lot more points than Virginia Tech is right now. So Virginia Tech is living off of some hitting errors, off of receiving errors, aces, things like that, a couple service errors. So Virginia Tech's going to need to find a way to generate more offense.
14-3 run to close set 1 for Georgia Tech. Currently on a 4-0 run to tie it at 17. Jake, when you're on the other end of a run like Virginia Tech is, what do you tell your team to try and shift momentum back?
I think you tell them the same thing you tell them every time. We're trying to execute our offense, get into system, run our stuff, The receiving team has the advantage. You know, it's pretty much every team at this level is siding out, so they're winning the point when they're receiving more than half the time. That's why when you win the coin toss at the beginning, they ask you want to serve or receive. You say receive, because you tend to win more points receiving than serving. So it's like, just run our stuff. You set up a play.
Here's Virginia Tech receiving the serve.
It's a lollipop serve, too.
In the middle, they've had success there. What a free ball, a whistle.
There's your double right there. So because she's not the next person because that's the ball coming over the net and Virginia Tech's the next to touch it, that's when they're going to call doubles.
Michelle Collier shaking her head.
I think it's a pretty tight call. That's kind of a ticky-tack call. But what you get is you have official. That's a great dig by Velez, though. Right here. Whoop. Oh, yeah, but she doubled it. Yeah. Yeah.
Here's Brandalise, who started this set.
Especially you got a whole bunch of officials who don't get to call doubles anymore, and they're just looking for an opportunity.
Right side swing, Aylward. Woods there.
Hit that. Yep. Took the setter out. Now Georgia Tech's out of system.
Play at the net. Put down with ease, Bianca Garibaldi. Coming off a career-high 4 solo blocks on Friday there. Easy at the net.
Very good execution from Georgia Tech out of system, getting the bump set from Velez.
Brandalise in the middle, you bet. It's Izzy Mishler again.
Mishler leads Virginia Tech in attempts. It's big for a middle. She's hitting 231 with 4 kills. Holiday's hitting 571 with 4 kills. I think they need to keep setting middle when they have the opportunity.
Suarez, the set in the middle. Garibaldi, you bet.
I think you have to play Garibaldi as a defender, as a back row defender. You have to play Garibaldi different than you do Pierce. Pierce is, taking some bigger swings, more of a thumper. Garibaldi's more angles. I think you want to play lighter on your feet against Garibaldi in the middle. Make her crush one.
Miscommunication there.
And almost on Garibaldi, move up a little bit as a defender. Put yourself a little more in the line of fire there. Make her hit you really hard once.
Garibaldi entered the weekend leading Georgia Tech in service aces. Here she is again.
That's a good pass.
Brandalise, Mishler, rejected. Jackets by 2. Timeout, Virginia Tech.
That's a tough angle. I think Brandalise is right, trying to force middle there. That pass is good enough. You got a good pass or medium pass of a very tough serve. Watch how far Brandalise has to get off the net here and down. I like the force. I like pushing it to Mishler there. You'd like to get it up higher for her so she can work around the blocks, kind of like in her armpit a little bit. It's hard to move around the block. 306.
Quickly, Hokies need to do what here?
Feed the middles. I think feed the middles. Mishler, and then when Holiday rotates in, Holiday's going to rotate in next here and keep giving her the ball too.
And Tamara Brown just listening to the Hokie huddle. Tamara, what did Coach Byers have to say?
Coach Byers said they're all on top of Izzy right now, so the ball needs to go elsewhere. They need to get one pass to a side out, and it needs to be a clean one.
Emphatic rejection. The Yellow Jackets at the net, and it's Mimi Mambu on the defensive side.
Yeah, it's a big block from Mimi Mambu coming up. She's a dynamic athlete, and that shows up most, I think, in blocking.
Float serve.
And especially in solo blocking where you have to make a big move like that. Yeah, it's just I think that was supposed to be a 31 to Mishler right there. Mishandled a little bit by Brandalise. At this point, you're thinking about a substitution just to slow the match down.
12-3 Georgia Tech run. That sets up set point.
Mishler's got to be further off the net when the pass is off that far off the net. She's got to give more of a zone for Brandalise to put the ball into. She's trying to swing down on a ball when she's so tight, and there's such a tiny window. If you get off the net a little bit, I'm not talking about 8 feet. 2 feet. Give her more space. That way you can let that ball work in front of you and turn it. Just kind of see where you're going. The only place she can hit there is basically straight down, and that is hard from when the set's coming from 12 feet off the net. Little execution things, Evan. It's a good serve.
For set 2, Mambu! Yes! The Chantilly, Virginia native.
Danielle Tenzi echoed her coach's comment. She said, we have to be locked in. Don't give them a lead in the beginning. Don't give them hope. We've been letting them hang around for too long, guys.
Thanks, Tamara. And here we go with set number 3, Peyton Woods. Hokies would love to get her going down the stretch. Georgia Tech in that opening set, for those just joining us, 14-3 to end set 1. Actually 13-4 run to end set number 2.
I think that's good. That's good guidance there in the huddle for Georgia Tech. You know, you have to close teams out, especially on the road.
Brandalise.
Doesn't matter where you are relative to the other team in the standings. You still have got to beat them 3 times in order to win the match. There's no clock to run out. There's nowhere to hide.
Bump set, Mambu.
No Carrick in the set 2, and now Carrick again in set 3.
Bump set, right side, big swing, big kill. Noemi DeSpagno. This Yellow Jackets team, you think about the present, but also the future. A lot to be excited about, Coach Collier. That's wide from Aylward.
I think they're probably two big arms away from being right back to the top of the league, you know, which those arms can be found pretty quickly these days, you know, in the era of transfer portals. Again, we've talked at length about Shelley's ability to go get really good international players. So you can juice up this roster pretty fast. One thing I think that Georgia Tech, if there's one thing they don't have a lot of, is size. They're not big. And the top teams in the ACC and across the country, they're big. Good size.
Misplayed a service ace. And this is something that has not happened in sets 1 and 2, an early Georgia Tech start.
Yeah, that's got to be, you know, alarms going off here for Virginia Tech. You cannot let the Yellow Jackets get up 6, 7, 8 points here at the beginning of the set. It's an almost impossible hole to crawl out of.
Middles have been good. That's on the line.
And when you know, Camila Brandalise for Virginia Tech, you force your middles, you get them working, you encourage them. It's kind of, again, go back to basketball. You want the big man to run the floor in the break. Make sure he gets to finish the fast break sometimes. Get him the ball, right? Same thing here. That's going to be a double. That one I don't like.
And neither does Coach Byers.
Yeah. So smart play here from Ivy Cooper to just go over to. I think that's a tight call, Evan. I think it's a tight call.
5-2, Yellow Jackets. Suarez the set. Mambu. Brandalise, back row swing Woods. Free ball. Brandalise in the middle, the paintbrush, Redwell, 10-foot line. Mambu too strong. Long point to Virginia Tech.
That'll be the next thing for Mimi Mambu, is getting better out of system. You know, when she has made hitting errors today, it's been on medium or kind of, we'll say, bad sets, like things that aren't, tempo's not right, location's not right, maybe too far off the net, too tight, whatever it is. And that's when you, as you get better as a left side hitter, that's where you make your improvement. That's where you start seeing the big jumps. And Erica Fava has switched to a regular jersey, no longer at libero, coming in as a defensive specialist here, which is great. A great callback to set 2. But, you know, for Mambu, like, you start getting better out of system. You start turning those hitting errors into not hitting errors, and then eventually not hitting errors into a couple extra kills. That's when your hitting percentage starts going through the roof. That's when you pick up an extra half a kill a game, you know, maybe half a hitting error less a game. That's how you go from being good to being really good.
Aylward down the line. What a dig from Sofia Velez. Bump set, cross court. Carrick read well. Muscling through. Anya Fyodorovic. Such strength from the rookie.
I was just looking at the block move she made on the very first defensive possession was so smooth, so good, and then great platform, great handle on that cross-court roll shot, and then transitioning to the left side. Fyodorovic, she is a keeper.
Suarez, Fyodorovic. Second chance. Woods able to get a swing. That's well wide towards the Yellow Jacket bench.
Fyodorovic, not very high. She'll get a little bit higher as she gets stronger. But man, she's got an arm.
And better each year. And there you see ACC teams RPI, the likes of Pitt, SMU, Louisville, and Stanford, single digit. Georgia Tech right there at 43. Not a bad spot to be in here in early November. As Brandalise goes outside for Carrick. Yellow Jackets swarming at the net. Back row swing. Woods, that's out. Yellow Jackets by, no, they're going to say a touch at the net. We'll see if Coach Collier challenges. But, Jake, Georgia Tech, Yellow Jackets this year, they have played 8 ranked opponents. They still have 4 ranked opponents left. What do you think about the NCAA tournament here for the Jackets?
I think they're close. Yeah, 43 RPI is, boy, I would not want to go into Selection Sunday at 43 in the RPI. I'd like to be somewhere in the mid-30s. You know, I'd like to be under 40 if you could be. I think Georgia Tech's biggest problem is they have one really good win, and that's Purdue, and that was back at the first weekend of September. That's a long time ago. It's going to look a really long time ago when it comes time for the committee to make their decisions. Now, you said they have Louisville at home, they have Pitt at home, they have at Stanford. You know, they've got some opportunities to get a signature win. If they take care of business, beat the teams they're supposed to beat, nice hard swing, no. Oh, that's a good rip there. Even though it's out. But if they take care of business that the teams they're supposed to beat, I think they're okay. If they can get one of those ranked teams left on the schedule, if I were them, I'd feel a lot better about it.
Through the hands of Velez.
Because so much of it still comes down to, like, okay, you can look at numbers, but who did you beat? You know.
There you see the upcoming schedule.
You know. So you've got to win all 4 of the first 4, and then you got Louisville at home, at Stanford. I think they finish with
Pittsburgh
in Atlanta. I'll say that is one of the. Dulesky just got 6-packed right there. Garibaldi checking on her. It happens. Yep. Bang. Yep. It's called a 6-pack. Yep. It's an old school volleyball term.
I'm not following, but I always trust you, partner.
Because if someone did it to you, you had to buy them a 6-pack of soda. You'll say. It's very old school volleyball.
Excellent read from Velez. Dulesky, Hazelton. How about the set from Dulesky coming back after that? Point Hokies.
But Dulesky goes with the floor dump, goes the back row dump right there, right at first opportunity afterwards. So to finish loop on Georgia Tech, I think that they're close. They've got to get that. They got to get that last signature win there, and I think they should be all right. It's a good squad.
And they've got a 12-6 lead, and they're starting to play some of their best volleyball of the season. If they win today, that's 5 of the last 6. You saw what the next 4 looks like.
Look, they're extremely well coached. You know, Michelle Collier knows what she's doing. Claudio Pinheiro knows what he's doing. You know, they're just those Julia Bergman, Mariana Brambilla teams from a few years ago were absolutely some of my favorites to watch. Their transition, their movement is so good.
Pump set Cooper.
That's going to be trouble.
Hazelton.
Oh, she saved it.
What
what a
an
play.
excellent angle. Mambu stuffed. An emphatic point for the Hokies.
Oh, I thought Reese Hazelton had no chance to get that. That set was tight. That set was almost in Wayne Clark's lap, our first official on the stand. Somehow she gets there and keeps it inside the antenna, doesn't end up in the net. Mishler comes back with the big stuff to win the point. Well, that doesn't get you going. I don't know what will. 12-7 here for the Hokies. The time for a run is now.
Suarez with one hand. Hokies read it well. 10-foot line. The pancake from Velez keeps the point alive for Mambu. Big time stuff. The Georgia Tech defense.
Ivy Cooper took that block right in the face herself. That's the libro's job. You got to lead the line. Lead the line in the coverage. She's right there. She's in the right spot. Just got a little unlucky that it hit her in the face.
Right side, Woods. Off the tape. Swing. Well long from Despano.
I like the swing there from Despano. Just could have freeballed it over, could have set it over, could have hit a standing roll shot. No, she switched her feet, she got some space, took a jump, took a swing at it, made a hitting error. But that's I think that's okay. If it's me on the sidelines, I'm saying go for it. Good pass.
Mambu, that's on the line. One of her best swings of the afternoon.
That's a tight pass. Suarez goes up, back row, so she can't dump. She goes up one hand and flips that 32. That inside set that they finished set, same play set as set point in set 2. So, you know, ran Prince and then brought Mimi Mambu in from the outside. A little bit of an inside set, inside the block. An ace serve from Abigail Lee.
Yeah, the freshman from Alpharetta, Georgia, the reigning Georgia Gatorade Player of the Year. Led Alpha.
Of the players on the floor who saw playing time last year, the only one right now, looking right now, is Aisha Carrick. I mean, Mishler was on the roster, but she didn't play very much. So it's basically flipping an entire roster. I think they do a lot of the basics better this year, and certainly better now in November than I saw in September. I think now it's about how do you unlock the offense. How do you find what works, what's going to get you kills? Some of that's going to be, from a program perspective, getting more dynamic, getting more athletic. Yep, and so you can see year by year, it's been, you know, incremental improvement, certainly in the kills per set. You know, that's a big jump from last year to this year with, you know, going up an entire kill per set. So I think they got to get a little bigger, a little more explosive. I think that you have it's a good swing from Peyton Woods. You have some good young players in the program who are starting to get a lot of playing time and produce. I especially think of the middles. You know, you have a freshman and a sophomore middle who, in Brianna Holiday and Izzy Mishler, that have been productive.
Fava the serve. Good one down the line. Mambu waits, swings, and puts away another point.
Talked about it early with Mimi Mambu. Where do you get better? You get better in these out-of-system kind of medium set situations. That's one of them right there. First set, that ball's 10 feet out of bounds. Second set, that ball's 10 feet out of bounds. That is a swing in the court. You hit it at somebody, but sometimes you hit it so hard they can't dig it.
Randall East with one hand, getting that up. Holiday the roll shot. Right side slide, Pierce too strong. Again, you think about this Georgia Tech team, how many freshmen, and they've got some pieces that haven't played, Puyo as of late and Mendez, but Pierce, even though she didn't play the year Texas won a national title in 2022, she knows what it takes. Sure, important to have a veteran at this time of the year, and there she is in the middle.
And you see it where, okay, you're probably not going to get much playing time in Texas. So you go somewhere where you're going to get playing time, but it didn't mean she wasn't a great player coming out of high school. And so you just get to a place where you can contribute to a very good team. You bring that experience of, hey, we played the best teams. I've been in the gym with the best players. It means that you don't get intimidated by anybody.
And for this Georgia Tech team, the person who has the keys to this really fun offense, Eloise Soares, junior setter from Brazil, 48 assists against Virginia on Friday. And there you see 11 consecutive matches with 30 or more assists.
It's the most fun position to play, in my opinion. Especially when you get to do it by yourself and just run a 5-1. It's a great swing from Aisha Carrick. I like Carrick's game. I really do. She does a lot of stuff well. I think that if she can contribute like that offensively, that's the difference. That's probably what puts her on the court all the time.
Big block, Hazelton, big stare, Hokies down 5, needing a run.
Got to make more plays on defense here. There's a big solo block from Reese Hazelton. Theodorovich obliged her a little bit. Hit that thing pretty kind of low seam there. But it's excellent execution from Reese Hazelton. The ace.
Aisha Carrick.
Serving is part of defense. Having said, you got to dial up the defense. Serving is a good win. Doesn't matter what the other team's record is. You win a match like that, and you run to the bus and get out of town. So, with a young team, these are the kind of the matches you want to be in. Sure, you'd love to be in and out somewhere in an hour. Like those are fun too. But if you're gonna, get better, you need to be tested. And for Virginia Tech, you're trying to take a team and learn how to beat good teams.
Soares, middle, off the tape, Holiday there. Back row swing, Carrick. She's really starting to heat up.
Garibaldi's been really hot this match. Brianna Holiday got right up in there on the one ball, was able to get a very positive block touch and give Virginia Tech an opportunity to transition. Carrick on this big serving run. She's been so tough.
That's just out. Feodorovich credited with the kill.
That's tough. That's tough. Like, it's just a little bit unlucky. Like, you can't always control the bounces there. I think the block does a pretty good job. It's a good swing from Feodorovich. She challenges Holiday right there. You hit that ball 8 times or 10 times. That ball's gonna get blocked 8.
Woods through the block. Leader in kills on this Virginia Tech team, coming off that double Friday, trying to keep her team in the match.
Got rotation 1 here for Georgia Tech. I think I try and work Feodorovich here with the serve. Cooper's been serving very well.
That's down, Noemi D'Espagno. Big time swing. Yellow Jackets within 5.
Spagno was hitting 0 until then. Kind of missed the service location here. Cooper serves the libero. Serves Velez. Gets a pretty good pass. Izzy Mishler just doesn't get close. We're having a challenge, looking for a touch.
Virginia Tech is challenging. The ball was out.
To be fair, that ball was moving. I think this, nonetheless, out of timeouts, chance to talk it over with your team here potentially.
Totally. I mean,
impromptu timeout.
These often take longer than the time allotted for a timeout. So
I could be wrong. We haven't seen. I actually thought there was a chance that might have been out there, partner.
We're gonna get a good look at it right here. That ball is probably in.
Great call from Parker Linden, the line judge, right on top of it. Thought maybe it caught that orange ACC stripe.
Yeah. Remember we talk about ball compression here?
After review, the ball is in. Virginia Tech, the call is confirmed and will lose a challenge.
One more look.
Oh, there it is. Yeah,
Perfect.
It's in. It's in. It's all right. It's the third timeout. Nothing wrong with that.
That paint will be busy tomorrow night when Virginia Tech men's basketball opens a new season against Charleston Southern. Back to action. Georgia Tech, they've served tough all day and it shows there.
The Buccaneers?
Correct.
I started my career at College of Charleston.
Beautiful area.
Go Cougs.
21-16. Here's Fyodorovich. Middle swing, that's wide. Been a great afternoon for Izzy Mishler. Just missed that one.
It sets low. It sets low. It's hard to get through that low set quickly and hit the way you want it to. 31s are tough. You know that 31 is a kind of that shoot set to middle where they're about 10 feet away from the setter. Those are hard to connect on. With how good Mishler and Holiday have been offensively, I'd like to see them run a little bit more one ball. I mean, gosh. Holiday ran a tremendous slide right at the beginning of the match in serve receive, and that we haven't seen her run it again. I think that, moving them around, finding where they're most efficient is going to be an important project for the rest of the season.
Woods really having a nice third set this afternoon. Really has found a home here in Blacksburg. Sam Houston State, Mississippi State. Over 600 swings on the year for the junior. Brandalise the serve. Soares, Mambu, excellent positioning, corner of the court.
Oh, that thumb, like that high thumb, like high cross body shot down the line.
It is match points for Georgia Tech. And it's Garibaldi, the sophomore, with the serve. Can they capitalize on a free ball? Outside swing, cross court. Ranstead, the second time she's done that.
Hard swing from Ainsley Ranstead. It's a good set there in transition. So it's Peyton Woods, who's been a jump topspin server all day. Is she going to stay with the jump topper? Yes, she is. It's a bad toss. Yep.
Into the net, and that'll do it. Georgia Tech, a successful road trip. 5-set win on Friday at Virginia, and they sweep Virginia Tech 3-0 inside of Castle Coliseum to win its 7th straight against the Hokies dating back to 2018.
I think this match was won and lost in the middle for Georgia Tech. DeAndre